Welcome back to Science for Kids Radio, coming to you live from 92.35 FM this morning.
Today we have a listener who wrote in with a question. Let's open up the letter. Hello, my name is Quinton, and I live on Vancouver Island. Today my mom purchased a solar panel. She says that she bought it because the sun has thermal energy. What is thermal energy? Great question, Quinton, and thanks for writing us in.
First, to understand what thermal energy is, we need to understand what atoms are. Atoms are tiny, microscopic particles that make up everything around us. Microscopic means they are really, really small. And even though you can't see them, they're always there. Atoms make up the air we breathe, the food we eat, and our entire bodies. These particles all move differently depending on the temperature. First, let's look at water as a liquid. The particles move fairly fast, but they stick pretty close together. If we stuck our water in the freezer, we'd turn our water into ice, which is a solid. Ice particles have a fixed shape and move only a little bit. They bump into the other particles around them. If we melt our ice cube back down and boil that water, it would turn into steam, which is a gas. Gas particles move very fast and all over the place.
A proper definition of thermal energy would be the energy contained in a system that is responsible for its temperature. So let's break it down. Thermal energy is the energy something has because of the movement of its molecules or atoms. So when you're drinking hot chocolate, the molecules are moving fast. The faster the molecules move, the hotter the object. So when we're boiling water and the bubbles start moving super fast because the molecules are moving fast to create the hot water. When you're drinking ice water, the molecules would be moving very slow. So now that we know what thermal energy is, let's talk about the sources of thermal energy. Some sources include fossil fuels like natural gas, coal, and oil, as well as solar heat, heat pump electrical heat, and geothermal heat. Some everyday examples that we would see is sunlight. This is the main heat source for bodies of water. Another example of thermal energy is fire. So when you're camping next time and roasting marshmallows, remember that you are using a thermal energy heat source.
Thermal energy can also be transferred between two objects at different temperatures. This is more commonly known as heat. This heat flow can be used to increase the thermal energy of one object while decreasing the thermal energy of another. For example, if we have one object that has a high thermal energy or a high temperature, and another object that has a low thermal energy or a low temperature, when we put these two objects together, the thermal energy, or heat, will flow from the hotter object to the cooler object. This heat flow will continue until both objects are the same temperature and have reached what is called thermal equilibrium. This is why we can boil a pot of water on the stove, why the sun can heat up our atmosphere, or why ice will melt in our drinks.
If you want to see more episodes from Science for Kids, make sure you get your parent or guardian to hit that subscribe button and click on that bell to get all our notifications, so you'll be the first to know when a next episode of Science for Kids comes out.